Hey folks, if you are just joining us here, whether you're on YouTube, maybe some new traffic here to the app, if you are missed what's going on, I'll just kind of break everything down for you here. So about 9:15 this morning, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office says there was a shooting. This is in New Ellenton on Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street. We got a crew out there probably about 10:30, 10:45, and this has sort of been the scene since. We've gotten word from the Sheriff's Office this has now turned into a standoff. Our crew says when they got out there, they heard what sounded like law enforcement trying to get the person inside to come out of the house. So it sounds like there is still one person inside. We've seen a drone go up multiple times. I believe they still have the drone up. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of gone up and come down a couple times, but you can see the SWAT team is out there, New Ellenton Police, Aiken County Sheriff. So there are a number of law enforcement agencies out there. We've probably seen 15 to 20 different law enforcement, including Sheriff Marty Sawyer, who you see there at the trunk of that car in the white shirt on the right there with the yellow sheriff on the back. That is Sheriff Marty Sawyer. So you don't need a lot of details to know this is pretty serious when the sheriff himself is out there. So still trying to figure out what's going on exactly, but this has been going for more than 2 hours now, and they have called this a standoff. So we know there's somebody inside. They are trying to get out. And this hasn't changed a whole lot in the last hour that we've been live here. We've been keeping an eye on this. A lot of law enforcement standing there to the left of that car. We have seen the drone up and then put away for a while and then go back up. Not sure if they're trying to maybe locate the person inside the house or see about an entry to the house. Not exactly sure what they've got going with the drone, but we have seen it go up now a couple times. So again, details are pretty limited. We are working to find out more. If you are watching us on the app, during our midday newscast, we're going to move this over to YouTube. It's live right now on YouTube. If you look at WRDW News 12 on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. It's live streaming right now. So just wanted to give you guys plenty of heads up. I'll mention it a couple more times as we get closer to 12. But if you are watching on the app, we are going to move it over to YouTube once midday starts at 12 o'clock. So again, on the scene right now, live at a standoff in New Ellenton, Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street, after a shooting at about 9:15 this morning. We still don't know the extent of any possible injuries, anything like that. We don't know who they are looking for inside that house, but we do know that this is a standoff between officials in Aiken County and somebody inside a home there on Nondren Street and Dry Branch. So as we learn more details, we're passing them along to you. This is kind of happening live in front of our eyes, and we're all sort of learning this together. So again, live, I see more people kind of coming into the YouTube, so you may hear me repeat myself a whole bunch of times, but that's for anybody new coming into the stream here that doesn't know what's going on. Just trying to keep everybody updated. We did see Captain Eric Abdullah out there with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office as well. He's their public information officer. That's the guy with all the info. So if we see him moving back towards the camera, I will pop back in, let you guys know. That's when we found out this was officially being called a standoff. So he's the man with the info. As we learn more, we are just passing it along to you. But again, one more time, New Ellenton, Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street for a shooting at 9:15 this morning that's led to a standoff here more than 2 hours later. So we'll keep you updated as this goes on. All right, folks, if you're watching us on the app, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back. If you're watching us on YouTube, nothing's going to change for you. You'll still see us just fine. So again, if you're watching us on the app, we'll be back here in 2 minutes. Watching us on YouTube, you'll be good to go. All right, welcome back to our folks on the app here. Again, if you're on YouTube, nothing changed for you. If you're watching on the app, we ran a quick 2-minute break. But we are back now live on the scene in New Ellenton, Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street for a shooting that has now turned into a standoff as we wait to see what's happening here. You see Sheriff Marty Sawyer there on the right. Captain Eric Abdullah with the Sheriff's Office is there as well. The SWAT team is out there. New Ellenton Police Department out there too. We've seen a drone go up in the air a few times now as they try to bring whoever's in the house out of the house. There's a little more movement than we've seen in the last hour. A little more movement than we've seen in the last hour as we still try to get some more information here. But what we know is that this shooting happened about 9:15 this morning. No word on any injuries, the extent of any injuries, how many people were involved. But we do know whoever's in the house right now, they're trying to get out. Looks like just saw somebody making their way towards the house there. One law enforcement official. And we do have a reporter, should be at the scene here in a couple minutes, and she'll be live for us during midday. This is going to be a little bit more informal here once we hit 12 o'clock because we're going to be strictly on YouTube, but we will dip into our midday newscast so that we can hear what the reporter has to say. But again, right now, just waiting on some more information. It's been slow moving here, as these things tend to be, these standoffs. And again, do have a reporter, should be there any minute. And hopefully we'll get more, sort of more perspective on what's going on there from the ground. We're getting a little bit more movement than we've had, though. Can't say exactly what's going on, but been seeing a few, I can't tell if they're deputies, if they're there with the SWAT team. A few of them have gone to the right, just off the screen, towards that house. I think I just saw 3, and then there was 1 earlier. I think we're looking at 4 plus. 4 plus, I don't know if they're troopers, deputies, going around to that house. Now we got movement on this side too. And just a reminder, folks, if you are watching us on the app right now, once the midday newscast starts, if you want to stick with this, we will be live on YouTube, probably for as long as this goes on. So you can find us at WRDW News 12 on YouTube. It's live right now if you want to go over there. If you want to stick on the app, we'll be on here again until just before noon, and then we'll move things over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, all good. Stick around. We'll be here for a while. All right, folks, we've got to cut this off on the app. So if you're watching us on the app, I'm going to shut this off. Come on over to YouTube. We'll be sending out a push notification here in a minute with a link to the YouTube, and also you can just go to WRDW News 12, and that'll take you there too. So again, I'm going to shut this off on the app. If you're on YouTube, great. We're going to stay live on here. If you are on the app and you want to bounce between our newscast and continuing coverage of this standoff, we will have this over on YouTube. But we're also going to have more on our newscast as well once Audrey Dick Herbert gets live out there coming up here in the next 10 minutes or so. So again, signing off here on the app. We'll continue on YouTube. And now, folks, if you are watching on YouTube, we're going to be live here on the newscast from the desk in the top of the hour. So right off the top around 12 o'clock, it's going to look a little bit different. You'll see me pop up here. It'll sound like I'm talking to somebody. We are kind of running our newscast and digital sort of at the same time. So I'll be doing that, and then we're going to have Audrey come on and do some stuff for us on digital, and she's going to also do some stuff for the newscast. And when she does that, we'll dip into that too. If you've watched extended coverage that we've done before, we tend to do this when we run newscasts and digital simultaneously. So again, next time you hear from me, it'll probably be for the newscast, and I'll pop up. So this is going to go away for a minute. It'll just be me talking for a sec, but it'll just be for a minute, and then we'll pop it right back up. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, so this has been a developing scene all morning. We're actually going to go ahead and take a live look at it right now. This is out at Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street there in New Ellenton. This started about 9:15 with what the sheriff's office tells us was a shooting, and it has just developed into this over the last almost 3 hours now. Our crew got out there just about 10:30, 10:45, and things haven't changed a whole lot since. We did get Captain Eric Abdullah from the sheriff's office coming back and telling our crew that this is now a standoff. And that was something we had kind of figured as we watched this unfold, but got that official word not too long ago. We do know Sheriff Marty Sawyer is out there. We know we see the SWAT team, people with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, New Ellenton Police Department. So while details are still limited, you can tell this is serious by the sheer number of people out there and also who is out there. Like I mentioned, the sheriff is involved in this. And we actually just had Captain Abdullah come to our crew again, says they are in the house now. According to the crews out there. So we did see a couple handshakes, a lot of movement going on there, and we've been told that they are now in the house trying to get the person who is in there to come out. So we are expecting the chief to come talk to us soon. That is from our crew on the ground just seconds ago, and so we'll have more on this hopefully here coming up pretty soon. But that's all we know right now. Again, detail is pretty limited as to what happened, if there were any injuries, the extent of those, but hopefully we're going to clear things up coming up in the next little bit. All right, folks, so continuing here on YouTube, if you just were listening in, I was talking on the TV side. We will have a reporter coming in here in just a minute to hopefully give us an update, but it looks like they're starting to maybe pack things up, and we just got word in the last 2 minutes from Captain Eric Abdullah with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office that they have now made it inside the house. So this is something that we've been kind of waiting on for the last few hours. We've been out there since about 10:30, 10:45, and this whole scene started to unfold at like 9:15. So we're going on about 3 hours of this now, and it looks like we may be nearing the end. I saw a little bit of packing up going on. We are expecting someone to come talk to us soon. Not sure if that's going to be from New Ellenton or if that's going to be Sheriff Marty Sawyer, but we do know someone is expected to come give us an update soon, and we will have that for you when they do. We do have a crew out on the scene right now. As you can see, Audrey Dickherber's out there. Audrey, I don't know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or holler at me if you can hear me. I don't know if ready yet, but well, while Audrey's getting ready, I'll pop back up here for a second. So if you're just joining us or have kind of missed what's been going on, we heard about the shooting around 9:15 in New Ellenton. This is on Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street out in New Ellenton, and this came in again about 9:15 this morning. Let me just make sure.
Operating.
Whoops. All right. Came in about 9:15 on, sorry, I got a lot of things going on right now. Dry Branch Road, Nondren Street. We don't know the extent of any injuries or how many people were involved, anything like that. We do know that crews got out there pretty quickly. We got out there about an hour later, and this is what the scenes looked like since. It's finally starting to clear up a little bit. Audrey, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up here. Don't know if your microphone's on. There we go. Now I got you.
1 second.
Now I got you. I got you.
Okay, it's on. It's on. I just had it on.
Okay.
All right, Audrey, you just got out there. I know
we are
you're
hearing some feedback on our end, Nick.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right, just got out there. What can you tell us about what you've seen so far?
Okay, so yeah, I literally just got out here about 5 minutes ago, and actually on my walk up here, I ran into Marty Sawyer, who said that Aiken County is out here assisting New Ellenton, and that we will be getting more details from the police chief on their end of the things. He didn't want to speak because they were only assisting, so we will have more updates for you here shortly. But actually, as I was walking up, there are people out here watching and just kind of wondering what's going on. Actually, one neighbor came up and approached me and had said, you know, this is kind of like a lot of families live around here. Everybody knows everybody, but that there was an issue similar to this about 10, 12 years ago. And so it's not necessarily surprising to them, but they are worried because a lot of their family members are in this area. And what I can tell you is actually just speaking with our photographer, Brianna, who has been out on the scene longer than I have, she was telling me that they could hear a drone up in the sky and that they actually heard what sounded like a bang and people going inside of the house and some smoke. So, there are speakers saying people come out, and all we know so far is that there's still an active scene. So actually I'm going to step out of the way here and kind of show you guys my shot and kind of show you guys what we're seeing here. As you can see, we are blocked off on the other side of this road here for safety reasons because of the crime scene tape. But let me just zoom in here. You can see people working. You can see them trying to kind of figure out what's going on as well, trying to work to keep people safe. But it looks like there's quite a bit of cop cars lined up down here. Even on my drive up here as well, I was passing quite a few police cars too. It seems like they're all out in the area as well. But it's actually fairly quiet considering that, this would be a pretty active and standoff scene. So we are still waiting to get those updates. And like I said, Nick, I did hear from Marty Sawyer that we will be hearing from the chief soon. He just didn't want to speak on their behalf because they are out here assisting, but there is a big police presence out here. We are working to get more information, and I will continue to keep you guys updated once I hear more.
Audrey, have you seen anybody leaving? It looked like I just saw maybe a one car starting to leave as you got there. Are things starting to pack up a little bit? I saw them putting the drone away. Some other equipment looked like it might be getting put away. Where are they at?
So I have not seen the drone myself since I've been out here, so let me clarify that. That is just from hearing from our photographer and from people in the area that said they heard and saw it. So I did not see that go up nor come down. So I'm assuming they're probably done with the drone for today. I did see that car leave as well, Nick, but to me it doesn't look like anybody's moving anytime soon. There's still, I'm blocking the shot again, so I'm actually going to step out of the way. But there's still, a whole group of officers or what looks like could be investigators down there that are in SWAT. There's definitely still a SWAT truck down there as well. That's what that big truck that you guys see down there that are all still down there. They're not moving. Doesn't look like they're packing up to me. And actually over off to the side, I can see some more people standing in the yard that are also kind of watching from this distance too. So yeah, to me, it does not look like they are packing up anytime soon. It seems like it's going to be active for a little bit out here.
Okay, Audrey, we'll let you go for right now. I know you've got the TV side coming up here in a minute, so we'll let you go kind of gather and get ready for that. But if you could leave the shot up, we'll keep taking a look here. And if Brianna can zoom in a little bit, just give us that look again at what we're seeing on the law enforcement side. But Audrey Dicker, we're live in New Ellenton right now. We'll take her again in a little bit. We'll dip in as she's on TV. All right, so again, folks, still a lot left to learn here about this case, this investigation. But we are expecting, it sounds like the New Ellenton police chief to come and talk to us. It sounds like they're the ones leading the investigation, and the Aiken County Sheriff's Office is just helping out. Now, it looks like we can keep going in here a little bit, Brianna, if you can hear me. That looks like the SWAT team coming out right now. It looked like it might be a riot shield. Don't know for sure. Looks like they're making their way out now. So it was probably 20, 30 minutes ago we started seeing people moving in. And now the crew looks like they're starting to pack up a little bit here. Again, as we were just starting at the top of the hour here 10 minutes ago, I saw them packing up some equipment. They put the drone in that truck, in that car. And I think Audrey said she had seen the sheriff actually leave. So it sounds like the severity of the situation may be toned down a little bit. So, folks, as we move a little bit farther throughout the show here, we are live on TV right now. So Audrey's going to pop up in a minute, and she's just going to start talking. She's actually talking to our anchor on TV. And so we'll have her, again, maybe repeating some information. But, with something like this, it's people coming and going throughout this stream. So you're going to hear repeating information a couple times. But it looks like they're starting to put some stuff away. From what I've seen, they've put a couple what look like to be some sort of shields away, some sort of maybe riot shields in the back of the car. We saw them put the drone away. There was another piece of equipment that was bagged up. I couldn't tell what it was. But they just opened up the back of that SWAT car too and put something in there. So it looks like things are starting to pack up a little bit, but there's still a large presence. Now we got some movement here too. What's this? Looks like another truck there. Can't exactly tell what that is, but it looks heavily armored and just kind of gives you an idea for how serious this situation is and how seriously they were taking it, bringing out sheriff's team, or SWAT team, a couple police departments, sheriff's office, and I'm not 100% sure what that is. Don't want to guess and be wrong, so. We'll see if we can get official word on that once we hear from the New Ellenton police chief. Again, that is expected to happen hopefully soon. We did hear, not on camera, but we did hear from Captain Abdullah with the sheriff's office. They didn't want to go on camera because they're just assisting with the investigation while the New Ellenton Police Department is leading the investigation. So Audrey's getting ready here for her midday hit, and we'll unmute her once she gets going in just a second. Yeah, so we'll give her a second to get ready, and there we go. We'll give her a second to get ready, and again, once she comes back up, we'll go ahead and take you live back out there, and I'll sort of keep an eye on it if anything major happens in the next 2 minutes or so. But let's just go ahead and kind of run you through the morning here, because there's still a lot that we don't know, but this is what we do know so far. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office was helping the New Ellenton Police Department after a shooting this morning about 9:15. This is on Dry Branch Road and Nondren Street in New Ellenton. And it's kind of a back road there, and they had blocked off pretty much all of Nondren Street. So that entire road, they had caution taped there, 12, 15 maybe, law enforcement vehicles all out there lined up, lights flashing when our team got out there, probably 10:30 or so. And we don't know the extent of any possible injuries or how many people may have been involved, but when our crew got out there, they heard something to the extent of, we have the house surrounded, leading us to believe that this was a standoff. And then a little while later, we did get confirmed from the Aiken County Sheriff's Office that that is what this was. We did have a standoff situation, and it looks like I just saw a police car, I think from New Ellenton, just drive away. So it looks like things may be calming down a little bit here. We did get word from our crew on the scene. If you were watching us on the TV side, right at noon as I was talking, we did just get word from the Aiken County Sheriff's Office that they had gotten inside the house and that the police chief from New Ellenton would be coming to talk to us soon. And here's a group. Take a quick look there. There's a group now walking away. That's the most people we've seen walking away from the scene so far. So we've seen one or two here and there. But it looks to be a big group here coming this way. As we take a quick look, I'm trying to not get Audrey while she's getting ready for her live shot. So excuse the back and forth, but don't want to catch her off guard too badly. But here you go. Here comes the crew making their way. A couple EMS involved as well. But it looks like things are starting to clear out just a bit. Not totally. Still, SWAT team's still out there, and I don't know if the sheriff himself is still out there, but certainly some deputies. And And so we'll see here once we have an update from Audrey what things are looking like. I realize I'm still on camera. Yeah, so we're sorry, folks. I'm taking a look here. We're trying to time it up so I can make sure we get Audrey up when she's talking again, because again we are on TV right now and on YouTube. So as we go to TV and Audrey's up, I'm going to take her live. So just trying to make sure we don't miss her and miss any information that she may have. But it looks like she's coming up here in just a second. So once she does, I'll pop her back up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull her up.
We have been following all morning long multiple law enforcement agencies on the scene of a shooting that turned into a standoff on Dry Branch Road. And that is where we find your Audrey Dickherber live now at the scene with what we know so far.
Yeah, Ashley, this has been an active scene for actually the past few hours, and we're slowly getting updates as this continues to progress. I've only been out here for the past 20 minutes or so, and what I've heard so far is that we are going to be getting an update from the chief in New Ellenton. We do know that Aiken was assisting with this, but they are letting New Ellenton handle all the details. So we will be hearing for more official updates here shortly. But so far, as being on the scene goes, when I was walking up, I was actually talking to some neighbors and people living in the area, and they said that a lot of family lives out in this area, and they're all pretty close knit. They all know each other pretty well, but that a similar incident happened about 10 to 12 years ago, and so that this isn't all that shocking, and that they're concerned about what is going on in this house behind me. So let me step out of the way to really show you how active this scene is. We have seen some people leave so far, but it is still very active. You can see a SWAT truck back there. I counted at least 10 police cars out here, all with flashing lights, all moving around. You see people are all geared up for the standoff with whatever's going on. We do know that there was a drone up in the sky earlier. People heard it, saw it happening. One of our photographers, Brianna, that was out here earlier, actually said that she heard a bang of a door and, police trying to get inside, and saw some smoke, and then police hollering at, people to come out of the house as well. So it's still been, very active this entire time. And, a lot of people, you can see people walking our direction now. So it looks like maybe some things are wrapping up, but we have not gotten any of those answers yet so far, especially with any updates on people that are inside of the house too. So we're still, like I said, we're still going to be getting those updates. I'll keep you guys updated on, whatever we find out here shortly. So make sure to come back and we'll have more soon.
Yeah, still a lot of questions to be answered. We do appreciate you, Audrey, live out there at the scene. Again, we're going to keep you updated here and online.
Okay, so there you go. That was Audrey on the TV side. As we got another update there, and it looks like things are really starting to clear out now. You saw quite a few law enforcement walking back towards us, as you see here, some more. But it's not totally clear. As you can see, there's still plenty of vehicles there with flashing lights, still plenty of law enforcement out there. But we have seen a few cars leave. I've seen maybe 3 cars leave, and more have moved. So they're pulling down the caution tape now. So it looks like things are wrapping up as they get the caution tape down. That's on Nondren Street. SWAT team cars moving out. Yeah, things appear to really be wrapping up here. We're still waiting for the New Ellenton police chief. We're supposed to hear from them about what exactly is going on. Hopefully we get that information here pretty soon. But it looks like they're really clearing this thing out now. So again, this is about a 3-hour-long thing, and it brought a lot of eyes there on Nondren Street. You could sort of see on the right side someone in some orange or red shorts. That's a whole group of people there. They just sat down in chairs in the front yard and watched this whole thing unfold. Because again, this has been going on for 3 hours now. The shooting was around 9:15 this morning. As it looks like Audrey's getting ready for another live shot, so we will have that in a second. But again, it looks like things are starting to clear up here as we make our way now into the start of hour number 4. But that's probably going to be the end of it. So we'll stick with this for a little while we see maybe we can get some updates from Audrey there on the ground. But it looks like this thing for the most part, is wrapped up. Just hoping to get some more details again from New Ellenton Police. They were the ones leading this investigation. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office was out there to assist. But we did see the Aiken County Sheriff. Okay, hang on. Let's take Audrey again here.
Midday. Multiple law enforcement agencies on the scene of a shooting turned standoff. It's on Dry Branch Road, and that is where your Audrey Dickhurber is joining us now live. Audrey, have you found out anything else as to what's going on? We know that that is still just an active scene behind you there.
Yeah, we have not found any other confirmed official details quite yet, but actually the scene just wrapped up. We actually just saw them roll away the crime scene tape just a second ago. And if you just watched before the break, you saw that there was a ton of police cars. Now a lot of them are leaving. It seems to be wrapped up. I didn't see anybody necessarily get arrested or get escorted out of the house. That was out of our view. But what I can say is, you know, a lot of people have been in the area watching. We did hear someone screaming, "Oh my gosh, no, no, no," and sounding very distressed, very upset. We're unsure about why that was happening quite yet, or the relation that that person has to maybe the people that are inside of the house, but that is kind of what we were hearing so far. People do seem to be upset about what has happened. So, but like I said, I mean, this was very active just a second ago, and it seems like everybody has picked up and left. I mean, there was a SWAT truck out here not too long ago. There was a whole bunch of people, you know, armed and ready for whatever could have happened. So this tells me that this must have wrapped up pretty quickly, and so we will be getting some updates here shortly, because we were told that the chief was going to come speak to us about whatever was going on and give us some official details. So come back and we'll have some more for you guys here shortly.
Yeah, just a few minutes ago, like you said, there is still a lot of law enforcement presence. What a difference a few minutes can make there, Audrey. Of course.
All right, there you go. The latest from Audrey. Things were wrapping up. Things were wrapping up, kind of like we were talking about before we went back out there. And we will take another look once she steps out. We'll take another look there live, because it looks like things cleared out pretty quickly. The SWAT team appears to be gone. Hopefully the police chief isn't gone. We were expecting to hear from the New Ellenton police chief to hopefully get some more details on the whole thing. And so it would be good if they were still there, because things have been pretty tight-lipped since this started. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office has been helping out, but New Ellenton's sort of been leading this whole investigation. And it looks like there are only 2, 3 law enforcement cars left. But like Audrey said during that live hit, didn't see anybody coming out in handcuffs, anything like that. So didn't see anything get brought out of the house. So not exactly sure where we stand with suspects, victims, anything like that. Injuries, still waiting for all that information that hopefully the New Ellenton police chief can give us. So we will have one more live hit from Audrey on midday. Not sure if there's going to be any new information, you know, in the 2 minutes that we didn't have her up, but we shall see, and we will listen in case there's any new info. But as I'm sitting here talking, still looking, and I just saw another car leave. So it looks like whatever was happening is now done. That is what we can almost confidently say. We did have the sheriff out there. We did have the New Ellenton police chief, it sounds like, out there. But I did see the sheriff. I saw Captain Eric Abdullah with the sheriff's office, SWAT team. We saw what looked like a military-grade vehicle. Audrey's apparently live right now. There you go.
From what we know of was a shooting that turned into a standoff. There was over 10 police cars that were out here earlier, including a SWAT truck. Lots of people that were trying to help out with the scene. There was a drone that was also up in the sky trying to, help out with this situation. Actually, there was at least, I would say, 10, 15 people out here watching what was happening as well. So now we're trying to gather some more information from officials. We do know that we're going to have more of that from the chief as well. So stick around and we'll have more updates for you here shortly.
Okay, so there you go, hearing from Audrey again. Just waiting at this point on the police chief from New Ellenton. He or she is kind of the person with all the info right now. That's kind of where we're at. So once we hear from them, we will have a good bit more information. But until then, we're still kind of just repeating and reciting what we've got and what we've seen with our own eyes and what we've heard from the little bit that we've heard from officials while our team has been out there. So I still see a couple emergency vehicles out there, so things have not totally wrapped up yet, but it's down to maybe 2. And I'll let you look for yourself. There are maybe 2 left, 3 left, somewhere along the line. But there was, if you've been watching us for the whole morning, past 2.5 hours, there were SWAT cars, 10, 12, flashing lights everywhere. It looked like a military grade vehicle. All sorts of stuff. They had a drone up. We saw a number of armed officers, weapons drawn. So this was a pretty serious situation, standing off there for about 3 hours this morning into this afternoon. But again, it looks like things are wrapping up right now. If you are on YouTube and you prefer to watch us on the app, we will be jumping back on the app here in just a minute, probably, once the midday newscast is officially over. And then we'll stick on YouTube too. But if you prefer the app, come on over. Just a couple minutes.
Hey Audrey, do you got me? We are live on YouTube, but I just wanted to make sure for digital you can hear me.
Use my phone until it dies.
Bro, we were at the wrong house this morning.
Were we?
Apparently it's a house that looks...
Hey Audrey,
That's
just
what happens when we
testing
don't
to
have
see
an
if you
address.
can hear me.
And it's pitch black.
We couldn't, yeah. There was nothing we...
Hey Audrey, this is Kayla. We're live on YouTube right now, but I just want to check your sound before we re-push this digital stream.
We're live. You are very quiet.
Okay, I'm going to turn myself up, but you can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, but if you're gonna ask me a question, you're gonna have to like scream.
Okay,
you're-
we'll do. We'll
you
do.
sound
We're
so
gonna push the
sweet and
stream
quiet.
here in a minute, like 2 seconds. You'll hear me toss to you.
Back up.
Okay. I can hear you talking, but your volume has not changed.
Back up.
I'm just putting the All right, everybody, thank you for joining us here at the News 12 Now desk. I'm Kayla Lopez, and we're just here to get some updates because we had multiple law enforcement agencies respond to what appeared to be a shooting incident in New Ellenton this morning. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office, Aiken County SWAT, the New Ellenton Police, and we thought things seemed to be clearing up over the last 30 minutes or so, but we do have your Audrey Dickherber live, and she actually has some updates for us that the scene actually may not be that so cleared after all. So, Audrey, what can you tell us? What updates can you provide as of right now?
Yeah, so I just actually finished talking to the police chief just down the street. Now, like you said, we did think that this scene was clearing up. That was not the case. That they're actually all just moving out of this area. They said this scene is still very active because they thought he was in the house, and it turns out he is not in the house. So he's somewhere in this area. We have law enforcement out in the area that's canvassing, trying to find him. They actually told me that he was making threats online and threats on social media. So they want to tell the public, you know, if you see anything suspicious, please be careful. Let law enforcement know, because there are threats that are being made towards, you know, innocent people online right now from whoever the suspect is. Now, they do know who it is. He says they're getting a warrant right now in order to find this suspect, but they will not release the name to us quite yet until they find him. So again, still active. They have people in the area looking for him. They were actually told by the parents that they thought he was inside. Turns out he was not. As far as the shooting goes, I had asked them, you know, if there's any updates on injuries. He had said that the suspect had actually pushed over a family member, and then the gun had hit, you know, gone out of the house and hit the side of a home. So when I was actually over in the area, I saw a hole from a bullet that was in the side of a house. But being down that street, I mean, he wouldn't let me stay down there long because of our safety. He wants us all in the same area, making sure that we, you know, we're all staying safe as well, being out here too. So since this is still active, we're going to continue to get updates. The chief said that he's going to interview with all of us here shortly to give us some more official updates, but that's what we know so far. So if you're in the area, be safe, you know, be on the lookout for any suspicious activity.
All right, thank you so much, Audrey. We won't keep you for long, so that way you can go and get some more information on this. But before I let you go, I do want to ask you, before all of this, obviously for the people that are just now joining us, this scene looks pretty clear. As we're learning, they're still actively investigating. The suspect has gotten out and they're asking the public to be safe. But can you tell us a little bit about what this scene looked like when you first got there? We talk about SWAT, we talk about the sheriff's office and the police. What did this scene look like when you got there earlier today?
When I actually got here, I had to park down the street because there's so many people that were out here, whether it was law enforcement, whether it was neighbors, whether it was family, just all out in the area trying to figure out what was going on. And so when I was coming down, I also ran into Marty Sawyer with Aiken County, and he was saying that they were assisting too. And then I also ran into some family members that say this is kind of a family-oriented area. Everybody kind of knows everybody around here, but that there was an incident similar about 10 to 12 years ago is what they're telling me. And that, this isn't much of a surprise based off of who they think is involved. Again, that's unconfirmed, but that is what we're hearing from people around in the area. Now, as far as what the scene looked like, this road behind me actually had tape across it, and there was more than 10 police cars out here, all with flashing lights, all assisting. There was also a SWAT vehicle out here too, or a few SWAT trucks actually. There's a big tan truck out here as well, all trying to help out with this scene. Now, it's hard to see, you can't see the house that they're actually outside of from our view. We actually have to be a little bit down the ways from that house. So they're still outside of the house down the street. They're still, looking in this area in case he does come back, but there is law enforcement all around here. Now, it went from being a shooting to a standoff to now almost a manhunt because they're trying to find him, somewhere in this area. So there's still people out here. I think could be family where, we're unsure, or just neighbors that are in the area also trying to figure out what's going on. Just kind of talking hearsay about what could be happening. I mean, we have sheriff, car passing by us too as well right now. But even when I was out here earlier, we just kind of heard people, screaming, saying, "Oh my gosh, no, we don't know what that was about. We don't know if it was a family member, of somebody that was close to whatever was happening inside the house." We're still trying to figure out what that connection is, but there was, people out here that were very concerned about what was going on. So again, still trying to get a lot of those details confirmed. The chief said he's going to speak with us on camera, once he finds out more. They are working on a warrant to find their suspect, and we will have more details for you later.
All right, thank you so much, Audrey. Obviously, we want to take, if they're saying there is a threat, could be a threat to the public in that area, we want to take that seriously and care about your safety as well. So we're going to go ahead and let you go and get situated over there. We do have some video from the scene earlier, so Audrey, you are good over here. We'll let you go ahead and go. But here is some video from what the scene looked like earlier today, just so that way I can move this. Give me 1 second. But yeah, this is what the scene looked like earlier today. Again, like Audrey was just explaining, a very active scene. The sheriff's office, SWAT team, the New Ellenton police, everybody was responding to this. And again, the new information that she has provided, the details in the incident itself are still very, very limited. All we know is that these agencies were on the scene of a shooting in New Ellenton this morning, that all these agencies responded. They were on the scene of Nondren Street and Dry Branch Road. They got there around 9:15 a.m. Still not able to tell if anybody was injured, but Audrey was able to say that it did appear that the suspect had made contact with somebody in the home, possibly shoved them, and then she was able to see a bullet hole into another nearby building from possibly where the firearm had been fired. So again, details are still very limited. She did say that the police chief would talk with her on camera shortly, so we'll have some updates for that as they come. But again, they're saying if you're in the area, if you live in the area, to please be safe, because they did say that the suspect was a threat to the public. Right now, he had escaped. We originally thought that the scene seemed to be clearing up, which we have now found out that it did sort of clear, but the suspect is no longer on the scene. They did also tell Audrey that she has just told us that they are working on an arrest warrant, so they can get that and hopefully get the suspect in custody. But again, for Audrey's safety, we've kind of let her go of the stream for now so she can go and get some more information and figure out what's next here at this scene. So we are going to take a quick little 2-minute break while we figure out some new information and get some updates from Audrey, and then we'll be back for a quick little recap. So for now, that's all we have. Again, if you live in the area, they are asking you to be careful, as there is the suspect on the run. Essentially, they have not been able to get a hold of the suspect, but an arrest warrant has been put out, and law enforcement are still actively working on this incident. So like I said, we're going to take that 2-minute break, and we'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, and we are back from our break. Just want to see if we have Audrey. We're going to take her one more time. So, Audrey, if you can hear me, just give me sort of an okay.
Yes, I can hear you, Kayla. I was making sure that my mic was fully on. Are you guys able to hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. That is great. So we went on a quick break, but we had just spoken with you. You had received some new information about this scene in New Ellenton, and we might have a lot of people that are just now joining this stream that are wondering what's going on. They're maybe finding out that in the immediate area they need to be careful because there could be the potential suspect on the loose. So walk us through, beginning to end, what updates you have and what's been going on at the scene.
Okay, yeah. So from the very beginning, actually, for these last few hours, this has been an active scene. Now, it doesn't look very active right now, but it's active in a different way. But whenever I first got out here, I had to park down the street because there was, people watching, trying to figure out what was going on. There was lots of law enforcement out here. There was plenty of cop cars. I think I counted over 10 police cars out here, as well as multiple SWAT trucks too, all trying to help out with whatever the incident was down the street. We had heard that it was a shooting, which then turned into a standoff of them looking for a suspect inside of the house. Now, in the meantime of them doing that, there was a drone up in the sky. There was people out in the area kind of talking about what they thought was going on. They had said to me that, there was a similar incident like this that happened about 10 to 12 years ago, potentially with the same person. So a lot of the people that live in this area are actually family, friends. They're all pretty tight-knit. They're all pretty close. And so this wasn't a total shock to them, but they were concerned about what was going on down the street. Now, whenever we were out here, there was actually tape blocking off these two, from this pole to the street sign over here. So we weren't able to go down that street. And they were just, trying to figure out what was going on down there as well. We were asking them questions about the scene, trying to get out some more information just to let the public know, because we had, at one point there was a ton of police cars, and then all of a sudden it's like they all picked up and left. We weren't sure if it was because they found who they were looking for or what was going on. So I actually went down the street to speak with the chief briefly, and he told me that the scene is still very active, and that the suspect was actually no longer in the house. So they were told by the parents that the suspect was in the house. Turns out, whenever they eventually got in there, that the suspect was no longer in there. Not sure if they were in there to begin with, if they escaped, what the case was with that. I do know that our photographer Brianna was out here. She did hear, a bang and people trying, hollering to get the suspect to come out of the house. So we did hear police actively doing that, or law enforcement actively doing that. He also gave me an update when I asked him about the shooting. Trying to figure out if anybody was injured, trying to figure out if anybody was hurt. He said that the suspect had pushed a family member and that a gun had gone off, and that I actually saw a bullet hole in the outside of one of the homes over there. And so that was the only update we had so far as the shooting goes. Now, he says they're looking for a warrant. They're trying to, get with the judge to get this suspect. The name is not being released quite yet. So what this means for people that live in the area, that means that he is somewhere, or the suspect is somewhere out here. We don't know exactly where. They are actively canvassing the area. I can say every few seconds we see a police car go by. We know that there's police down the street. We're also hearing that there's threats being made online. So law enforcement is urging people, if you live in this area, if you see any suspicious activity, to call law enforcement, let them know about what's going on, or if you might know any information, to relay that to them, because safety is ultimately their first priority. They're trying to get this guy safely, don't want to get anybody else involved. So make sure to be keeping an eye out if you hear of anything or you see anything as well. But that's all the updates we have so far. He did say that he was going to do an interview with us later on, but they are still working. It's hard to see because you can't see from the angle that we're at, but down the street is the house that they're all actually still outside of. So just trying to look for any potential activity that could be happening. Still very active out here, and we're still waiting for more updates.
Thank you so much, Audrey. And I do just want to emphasize one more time, the importance of that safety. If law enforcement is saying, the suspect could be out in the area, is making those online threats, even if somebody here on the stream doesn't actually live in the area but knows somebody that lives in the area, I just want to again reiterate the importance of that and the threats that are being made and what law enforcement is saying. So we really appreciate you for being out there and giving us these updates. But again, for the people that are just now joining us, like you said, and I like the way that you put it, the scene is not active, but active in a different way. Now this scene has turned into something else. Now it's sort of turned into a manhunt. They're seeking those warrants. So we look forward to new information that you can provide us here soon. So thanks again, Audrey. We'll let you go and we'll roll some of this earlier video again, and we will sort of wrap things up here for the next couple of minutes, so that way we can gather some new information. So again, if you're just now tuning into the stream, we were just speaking with Audrey DeKerber, who has been at the scene and trying to get some new information about what's going on here. And again, I really like the way that she put it, that the scene is no longer active, just very active in a different way. So originally it was for a shooting that turned into a standoff in New Ellenton, and Audrey was able to tell us that it appeared that the suspect had shoved a another person in the home, and a gun did go off, but it fired in another direction, and Audrey said she was able to see a bullet hole in a house nearby. Then we were told that she said that she could hear law enforcement calling out for that suspect, trying to make contact with the suspect. And then they eventually get into the home and the suspect is no longer there. So again, advising the public that the suspect is no longer in the home. They are working to get arrest warrants for the suspect, and they have urged the public to be careful because this is now sort of a manhunt situation. Audrey did also mention threats being made on social media, and they just obviously want the public to be extremely safe during this time. Audrey said that she will be speaking with the police chief to see what other information we can provide. But for now, what we know was a response to a shooting incident led to a standoff. Now the suspect is no longer in the home and is somewhere in the area, this new Ellenton area, by Nondren Street and Dry Branch Road in New Ellenton. Scene started about 9:15 a.m. Looked like it was clearing around 12:30, but again, as Audrey says, now it's active in a very different way. And that different way is the hunt for this suspect. So we obviously are going to keep an eye on that. We're going to take another quick little break, and then we will be right back. All right, and we are back after a quick break. We have just been told that Audrey is going to try and see if she can get any new information on this. This is obviously what you're looking at is video from earlier in this incident. What we know, if you're just now joining us, is that authorities at around 9 a.m. this morning responded to New Ellenton in response to a shooting. It led to a standoff. And once law enforcement made entry into the home, the suspect was no longer inside, and now they are looking for that suspect in the area. So they have urged the public to be safe, to be cautious. If you see any suspicious activity, to please report it. This is still a very active scene, not in the way that you're looking on your screen right now with all of the police cars, but active in the sense that authorities are actively looking for this suspect. A couple minutes ago, we spoke with Audrey Dickherber, who is at the scene currently, who spoke with law enforcement, and they were able to provide us some updates. They were able to tell us that it was inside the home. The suspect shoved another person in the home, and then a firearm went off in another direction, and Audrey said she was actually able to see a bullet hole in a nearby house. Officials also tell us, we know that the SWAT was there, the Aiken County SWAT team, as you can see in this video from earlier. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office, the New Ellenton Police. We're supposed to be speaking with the police chief in just a bit to get some more information there, but we do know that they responded around 9 a.m. They were not able to tell us of any specific injuries. Again, what we know is that the suspect shoved somebody in the home, and then the gun went off and hit a nearby home, as Audrey could see from the bullet hole. But we did see that they were using drones. They had sent up a drone to sort of canvass the area. They are telling people that live in the area to report suspicious activity. As you can see, there's the drone from the video earlier today that was getting used to sort of canvass the area. And, you know, we don't know much about the standoff or the shooting itself. All we know is that's what got us here, and we're here now, and they're saying that the suspect is on the run, essentially, not in the home. And they are telling people to exercise extreme caution, and if you see something suspicious, to call. They did say that they are working to get arrest warrants. They have not identified the suspect with us. They said that information would be released when they can release it. They are working on getting arrest warrants, so none of that other information is available at this time. Again, what's been playing on your screen is video from the scene earlier today. We had our photographer Brianna out there, and she was able to talk to some people who told her about the standoff that had been going on after she spoke with somebody on scene about that. But again, we're not really sure of any specific injuries. What we were told about what took place in the home was that the suspect shoved somebody in the home, and then the gun went off, hitting the side of another home, as Audrey could tell us that she saw the bullet hole in the side of a nearby house. So our reporter Audrey is in a safe area on the scene. We spoke with her, and we're going to speak with her soon in another 10 minutes or so as she gathers some more information. But again, what we know is very limited, but the important thing to know is that if you are in that area or know somebody in that area, that the suspect has not been captured. They are seeking arrest warrants, and we do also know that threats were being made online, so there is a threat to the public is what they've told us. So just to please exercise extreme caution, and if you see something suspicious, to please report it. So that's about all the information that we have right now. We don't have a live look at the scene right now because, like I said, Audrey is out there getting information, so what you're seeing is just a compilation of the scene earlier. But again, the Aiken County SWAT team responded. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office responded. They were assisting the New Ellenton Police Department with this incident. Not really sure any information about specific suspects. We just know that the suspect was in the home, now is not, and law enforcement is actively looking for that suspect. So, again, very limited information at this time. Audrey should have some things, some new information with us. She's trying to find out more, and she did just tell us that she saw a lot of police cars quickly leaving the scene, so maybe we'll have some updates from her in just a few minutes. But we're just gonna keep replaying this video. We might take another little break, but just waiting on some new information from Audrey. We'll speak to her again, but for now, this is what we know here at the scene in New Ellenton for the shooting. Audrey, can you hear me?
Right in your eyes, because when it happens to me, sometimes I can't do it. Okay, yeah, but then it reflects. Yeah, okay. Is everybody good?
Audrey,
Okay,
you got
so
me?
you can just kind of look in the center if that. Okay, so let's just start with you giving us an.
Out with a shooting call that we were dispatched to. Upon our arrival, we found a victim that had, through investigation, discovered had been assaulted. That individual was transported by Aiken County EMS with the assistance of Aiken County Sheriff's Office. They assisted us in clearing the residence to confirm that he had ran from the location. It is still believed that he is in the area. He has gone on Facebook Live, unknown if there were any other social media avenues. He has been utilizing his phone, so we're keeping a very close eye on that. We do have several pending warrants that I'm getting ready to go get signed by the judge that have already been sent to the judge. Still ongoing. If we have any updates, I'll be able to get in contact with you as soon as possible.
So what about the shooting incident? We know it went from a shooting to a standoff. Now
So there was a discharging of a firearm into a dwelling. Nobody was struck by that bullet. We do have evidence to support that, as well as further ammunition that was discovered in the residence that this individual resides in. We do have multiple spent shell casings that have been fired that were recovered at the scene as well.
Do you consider him armed, or the suspect armed and dangerous?
Absolutely. He is still believed to be in possession of a handgun, unknown on how much ammunition he has. So we plead with you to, if you see anybody in this area that appears to be carrying a firearm, please go ahead and call 911 and have individuals notify us to respond back to this area, as we're still going to remain in this area canvassing to see if we can locate him as soon as possible to bring this to a peaceful end, as we don't want anybody being harmed.
Have you had any run-ins with this guy before?
I know this individual from my prior job as a corrections officer for Aiken County Detention Center. I've never had any violent interactions with this individual, but he does have a history of it. He is a convicted felon.
Okay.
All right.
Were there any other people inside the home?
The victim's going to be someone in that residence. There was 2 individuals there at that time during this interaction.
And then I know we kind of talked, there was 2 trucks out here. What was the big truck, the big tan truck for? And
so
were you guys,
that's going to be Aiken County Sheriff's Office MRAP. That's going to be allowing them to safely put their manpower closer to harm's way, with having that safety of it being bulletproof if they were to be fired at, giving us a better vantage point, trying to safely get close enough to attempt contact with the individual. They were doing so by the PA through their siren that's in the vehicle. The PA transmits over that we can speak loud enough, hopefully, to make contact, so we could make contact with him, but we did not.
So what were some of the efforts that went into trying to catch him so far? Because I know you guys had like a whole line, kind of like over 10 police cars, a drone,
yes,
all that.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We've exhausted every avenue that we have, and a great thanks to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office that brought a lot of technology to assist. Like you observed, there was multiple different drones. We have one that went through the house prior to the SWAT team going in to clear it. Again, trying to make this as safe as possible for all parties involved. And the MRAP, again, was courtesy of the Sheriff's Office, and they are very grateful. We're grateful of their assistance on that.
Did you ever have any eyes on the suspect today at all?
So when we first got here, it was stated that he was out in the yard of the residence, and due to the call coming in of a diagonal address, our focus was on the address that the call came in from, and it was very quickly realized where the shot had come from, or the shots have came from, and we immediately surrounded the house at that point. But it was believed at a later time, it was established that he had exited that perimeter that was set up at that time.
And you guys are obviously very concerned about this guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's making multiple threats to harm innocent people on his social media, and we're taking those very seriously. Again, we're keeping units in the area, steadily patrolling, so that way we can ensure our citizens are safe.
What kind of charges is he looking at?
Until we get those signed off on, I'm not going to release that, but it will be weapons-related charges, among others, as he is a felon in possession of a firearm that he should not have been in possession of.
Thank you.
Oh, can I get your name?
I'm Chief Joshua Solomon, New Ellenton Police Department.
Spell that for us.
It's JOSHUA SOLOMON.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. you.
Thank y'all.
Let
Hope
me
y'all
get that
have a
mic
great
from
day.
you.
Thank you.
That's going to cost
You
you
got-
extra.
Okay, I know.
It sounded good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, it's one of those things where
All right, so those are the new details that the police chief of the New Ellenton Police was able to give us. I kind of wrote a few updates down, and then maybe we'll be able to get Audrey here one more time. We'll have her call in, but I'm just going to look down at my phone. I've been taking some notes, and I didn't quite get his last name, but he's Chief Joshua. Unsure of the last name at the moment. I wasn't able to catch that in time before he walked away, but he did say that they have exhausted every avenue that they have in terms of locating the suspect, in terms of trying to get the suspect into custody. So they were thanking the Aiken County Sheriff's Office for their help and the extra technology and resources that they can provide in this search. So he did mention that all resources that they have are being used, have been exhausted. They are doing that. They did also say that the suspect is making, quote, multiple threats to harm innocent people on his social media, and that they're taking those very seriously. So he did say that they were going to have an established law enforcement presence in that area continuously until they can get this situation figured out and put to a close. But for the people in the community's safety, they did say that there will be an active law enforcement presence in the area. So the threats online to innocent people on social media, he did let us know that the chief shed some light into his former employment and did say that he used to work at the Aiken County Detention Center and was familiar with the suspect from his time at the detention center, but did say that he did not recognize the suspect to have been a violent person during his time at the detention center, which I thought was interesting. But he did say that he couldn't give us specifics on charges at this time, but did say that he, quote, will get weapons-related charges, among others, because he is a felon in possession of a firearm. So that could be in relation to those the charges that he was mentioning from his time at the detention center are more than likely going to be felony charges. So this sheds some light into what we can expect once they find this suspect. He did say that and it was the two people in the home, and they were able to see that the gun was fired, a firearm was fired, and it did make contact with another house. But that's kind of all we have. In just a moment here, maybe we can get Audrey. I'm going to take a quick break here in just a minute to kind of get that figured out. But if you're just now joining us, we actually just got to speak with the New Ellenton Police Chief. His first name is Joshua. Forgive me, I did not write down or remember the last name. I can pull it up here for you guys. But again, we just spoke with him, and he was able to provide us some new details on the investigation and what we have here so far. So I do want to listen and see what this is maybe that we have, if he'll speak again. Just kind of pulling some sound.
Hey, we have the TV up. I'm about to interview the chief. Just want to let you know in case you want to disturb it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he's here. I'm gonna get this microphone.
All right, so it does look like they're setting up the chief to do another interview. So once all of that is situated, we will go ahead and take that. We are getting him mic'd up right now so we can get some more information about this. So let's see what we have here. Looks like they might be getting started here.
Let us know if that's too bright in your eyes, because when it happens to me, sometimes I can't do it.
So again, yeah, it does look like they are getting him situated here. Again, just waiting on that. This is what we have, and it looks like they are about to get ready to start here now with another update on some other information. So it does look like we might have just lost some sound there, or the shot that we had while we wait on that to get back up. It looks like we might have
seeing everything that's happening so far, and we'll go from there.
All right, so as many of you already know, at 9:15 this morning, came out with a shooting call that we were dispatched to. Upon our arrival, we found a victim that had, through investigation, discovered had been assaulted. That individual was transported by Aiken County EMS with the assistance of Aiken County Sheriff's Office. They assisted us in clearing the residence to confirm that he had ran from the location. It is still believed that he is in the area. He has gone on Facebook Live. Unknown if there were any other social media avenues. He has been utilizing his phone, so we're keeping a very close eye on that. We do have several pending warrants that I'm getting ready to go get signed by the judge that have already been sent to the judge. Still ongoing. If we have any updates, I'll be able to get in contact with you as soon as possible.
So what about the shooting incident? We know it went from a shooting to a standoff. Now
So there was a discharging of a firearm into a dwelling. Nobody was struck by that bullet. We do have evidence to support that, as well as further ammunition that was discovered in the residence that this individual resides in. We do have multiple spent shell casings that have been fired that were recovered at the scene as well.
Do you consider him armed, or the suspect armed and dangerous?
Absolutely. He is still believed to be in possession of a handgun, unknown on how much ammunition he has. So we plead with you to, if you see anybody in this area that appears to be carrying a firearm, please go ahead and call 911 and have individuals notify us to respond back to this area, as we're still going to remain in this area canvassing to see if we can locate him as soon as possible to bring this to a peaceful end, as we don't want anybody being harmed.
Have you had any run-ins with this guy before?
I know this individual from my prior job as a corrections officer for Aiken County Detention Center. I've never had any violent interactions with this individual, but he does have a history of it. He is a convicted felon.
Okay.
All right.
Were there any other people inside the home?
The victim's going to be someone in that residence. There was 2 individuals there at that time during this interaction.
And then I know we kind of talked, there was 2 trucks out here. What was the big truck, the big tan truck for? And
so
were you guys,
that's going to be Aiken County Sheriff's Office MRAP. That's going to be allowing them to safely put their manpower closer to harm's way, with having that safety of it being bulletproof if they were to be fired at. Giving us a better vantage point, trying to safely get close enough to attempt contact with the individual. They were doing so by the PA through their siren that's in the vehicle. The PA transmits over that we can speak loud enough, hopefully, to make contact, so we could make contact with him, but we did not.
So what were some of the efforts that went into trying to catch him so far? Because I know you guys had like a whole line, kind of like over 10 police cars, a drone, all that.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We've exhausted every avenue that we have, and a great thanks to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office that brought a lot of technology to assist. Like you observed, there was
All right, so it did look like we lost a bit of the clip there. That was just the police chief, Joshua Solomon, providing an update on the situation. So before we wrap things up here at the OTT desk, just want to give you guys some updates, what we know so far, what's gone down here today, this morning, and the information we're still looking to find. So again, as the police chief had said, but if you're just now joining us, I'm going to repeat it all. Around 9:15 a.m., they responded to this home in reference to a shooting incident, and he was able to confirm that a firearm was fired in the home, but no one was struck by a bullet. But Audrey was able to see a bullet hole in another home she said she saw. They said the big news here is that the suspect made it out of the home. The police chief said for the perimeter that was established at that time, the suspect got out of that perimeter and is now in the area. So they say they're actively canvassing and that they're going to be in the area, and that they're urging the public to be extremely cautious and to report any suspicious activity, because the suspect has also been making threats to innocent people, to the public online. They do know that he's still armed with a weapon, and they don't know how many bullets or rounds this suspect has. So again, the big thing here is just if you're in the area or you know somebody in the area, to please report any suspicious activity. The law enforcement is telling us they're taking this extremely seriously. They said they've exhausted all efforts that they have to find this person, and they're grateful to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office for being able to provide other technology and other resources. But the scene is still very active in the sense that they are still looking for this suspect. We were also able to learn from the police chief that he told us that during his former time at the Aiken County Detention Center working there, he was familiar with this suspect. Said he didn't remember him to be a very violent person, but did say that he has had a run-in with him before in the past. Did also say, when asked about charges, he wasn't able to give anything specific, but did say that they would be gun-related charges because he is a felon in possession of a firearm. So assuming here that those charges that he was at the detention center for were felony charges, this is true. Again, said they've exhausted every avenue that they have. They said there was a standoff at the home, and then now we've learned that the suspect is no longer in the home and is in the area. They did say that they were not going to release the name of the suspect, but they are finishing up with warrants and going to take them down to the judge, get those to the judge, so that way they can get an arrest warrants for this suspect. So again, lots of still unclear, but they did say he's making multiple threats to harm innocent people online, that he is in the area, and that they will have law enforcement actively canvassing the area until they can put an end to this and hopefully close this up in a positive way and in a good way and in a successful way. So that is all we have for right now. We will not be hearing from Audrey again, but we will be updating you on our website on WRDW.com in our later newscast. And as always, if anything breaking happens and any new information that we get, we will be right back here on the OTT desk to bring that to you. But we're going to go ahead and bring a wrap to this stream. In all, the shooting in New Ellenton led to a standoff. The suspect is no longer in the home and is in the area, still armed. They have put out an arrest warrant, and they are asking the public and anybody in the area to practice extreme caution. The big lesson here, if you see anything suspicious, please report it, so that way the law enforcement officers can continue to try to resolve this incident here that happened this morning. So again, that's all we have. You can check all these updates for specific quotes from the police chief that we received from this on our website at WRDW.com, and we'll have more for you as we learn it. So take care, have a great rest of your day, and we are going to go ahead and wrap things up here.